Kristin with the Rogers Public Library, and this week for Quilled Creations we are going to be starting off a winter scene that we are going to be creating all month long each week on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. So you should have picked up your background from the library along with your first craft packet, which will have 3 strips of white in it. And then if you haven't gotten a quilling tool already, then you should have gotten one of those. And I will show you how we're going to make this snowflake. Alright, so to begin, we are going to take one of our strips of white and we're going to fold it into thirds. So it doesn't have to be exact, just approximate thirds, and then we will cut it so that we have 3 pieces that are about the same length. And then we can fold those in half and cut it again so that we're going to end up with 6 pieces. Then we'll take our first piece and slide the edge through the little slot on your quilling tool, and we're going to roll it up into a small little circle. And then once it is rolled up, we can let it go. It's going to be very small, but that's okay. We're gonna take the edge and put a little bit of glue and then seal it up. And then we are going to pinch both ends of it to make a little tiny eye shape. And we're going to make 6 of these. So we'll go ahead for each one of our 6 little strips of white, roll them up, and then we will make those little small eye shapes. So again, once it's rolled up, just add some glue to the edge and then pinch both ends to make a little eye. And we just need to do that 4 more times. Once we have all 6 of our little eyeball shapes, we're going to pick a spot on our background to put our snowflake. And I'm going to put mine up in this little space between the other snowflakes on our page. So then we can take some glue and just put a little bit on one edge of it and stick it on there. And we're going to line these all up so that one point touches in the center, and we'll make a little, kind of a little star shape. Alright, so now these pieces will be the center of our snowflake, and we've made a little star or a little flower. Now we're going to take our other 2 strips and we'll fold each of these into thirds as well, so we end up with 6 larger pieces. So 1 strip folded into thirds and cut into thirds. Take my other strip and fold it into thirds again. And then cut that one into thirds. Now we're going to make 6 little heart shapes. So put one end through the slot on your quilling tool, and we will roll it down almost to the center. And then we'll let it go. Take off our tool so we have kind of a little rolled piece here. Go to the other end and roll it in towards the center again. So these 2 little rolls are going to be both kind of pointed up, rolling in, and we'll get to where they're both pretty close, and then going to pinch the middle, and then we can kind of play around a little with our rolls on the edges, loosen them up or tighten them up as we like to make this little heart. And so these little hearts are going to go around each of our little points on our little flower or star. So we need to make 6 little hearts, and if you want to keep sight of the middle, you can go ahead and fold it beforehand so you know where that middle point is as you're rolling inwards towards it. So we just roll almost to the middle, and then we can let it go. Remove our tool, go to the other side, and roll it in again. And then adjust our little heart to be the size and shape that we want it. And then we can set it aside, and we'll go ahead and make our 4 more hearts like this. Now once we have all of our hearts made, we can just add them to our picture. So you can put some glue on one side of the hearts, and then pick a spot to line them up with one of our points on our snowflake, and we'll just go around and do that for each one. Now don't worry if your hearts aren't all exactly the same size with exactly the same curls. Every snowflake is different, and every quilled piece is going to be a little bit different, so that will be perfectly fine. Now, as you are adding your hearts, if you find that they are a little bit too big and they're trying to uncurl, then you can use your tool to grab that center of one of your rolls and just roll it back up, tighten it a little bit, and then just kind of hold it in place for a moment. Kind of push those rolls together, and if any parts are trying to fall over, then you can use your tool to help set them back up. And there we have our first piece for our scene, our little snowflake. And we will be doing another piece next week and adding a small snowman into our picture. So make sure and come back and pick up your next quilling packet, and by the end of the month, after each week, we'll have a full little winter scene. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next week. Bye!